So last week was NRF APAC in Singapore, and like most people, I arrived expecting to hear a lot about AI. And to be fair, there was plenty of AI. But after sitting through sessions from FairPrice and DFI, LVMH, Shiseido, Nestlé, and others, I realized that people have moved on from what the tech enables to what the tech really exposes. So for me, I sensed two very different themes. The first was adaptation. Almost every executive acknowledged the same reality. Nobody really knows how AI, agentic commerce, or retail will evolve over the next few years. KPMG described it as a fear of better options, organizations that are paralyzed by the number of choices available. DFI's CEO, Scott Price, was refreshingly honest when he simply said, "It's hard. At some point, you have to stop analyzing and pick a direction." FairPrice showed what that looks like in practice. They've built a store of tomorrow around customer friction points, launched it quickly, learned from real customer behavior, and adjusted the experience, and now scaling it. The smart trolley works so well that basket sizes increased and they literally had to make the trolley bigger. Customers then started putting their children in the trolley, and the system thought the child was an unscanned product. Not failure, but learning. What struck me, though, was that most impressive companies weren't trying to predict the future. They were trying to build organizations capable of learning faster than the future changes. But there was a second theme that I found even more interesting, that of connection. LVMH spoke about using technology to strengthen relationships, not replace them. Shiseido showed futuristic beauty technologies, but the punchline wasn't the technology. It was the confidence and happiness that those technologies created. Maxim's talked about mooncakes, except they weren't really talking about mooncakes. They were talking about family rituals, memories, and traditions. The insight was that customers don't buy products. They buy meaning, they buy memories, they buy connection. And this came up repeatedly. Several speakers talked about the risk of over-personalization, the risk that in creating increasingly individual experiences, we lose the shared cultural moments that create brand value in the first place. Luxury brands in particular don't just derive value from what they say to us, they derive value from what owning them says about us. That requires shared meaning. So after 2 days, my biggest takeaway wasn't really about AI. It was that the best companies seem to be solving two challenges simultaneously. How do we adapt faster? But also, how do we remain deeply connected to the customer? Because technology channels and interfaces will continue to change, but relationships, memories, culture, and connection, these remain remarkably durable. The winners may be the companies that use technology to strengthen those things rather than replace them.